Hi everyone, and welcome to the Sagittarius November through December 2022 Illumination reading. This is I Am Illuminated Tarot, a place for you to better connect with and illuminate your own personal spiritual importance. And what does that mean? That means that in today's reading and in all the content on this channel, we are going to be looking at something that's going to help you unlock something about your own unique spiritual importance, who you are, why you're important to the collective experience. So in this reading specifically, we're going to be looking at a challenge that Spirit is asking you to face and overcome so that you can unlock something within you, a part of your unique heroic capabilities, parts of ourselves that are going to better be able to help you see your path, experience purpose, and get closer to those feelings of emotional fulfillment that come when we know and see where we fit into that collective experience. Okay, so Sagittarius, we are entering into your season, which is wonderful, and happy early birthday to all of my Sagittariuses out there. I love your energy. I have a placement there that directly links to my midheaven, my in Pisces, and so I really do enjoy your energy. I also have a few friends as well in my life who I really appreciate as who they are, the fun, fiery, feel good energy that you guys always bring to every situation. So right off the bat, we have the Emperor coming out, Sagittarius. This is a very strong energy. So I'm pulling first. We're going to look at the energy you're bringing, which is the energy of the Emperor. We're going to look at what's going on external to you. And then we're going to look at what you're actually discovering and illuminating about your unique self over the next couple months. And then we'll dive into the blocks. I'll pull clarifiers and we'll get advice from Spirit as to help you overcome them so that you really can unlock this part about your experience. Okay, so let's see here. We have the Eight of Cups around you, and then we have the Five of Cups, the Hermit, and the Five of Swords. So, okay, the Emperor, Sagittarius. This is a very strong, stable, kind of put your foot down type energy. And I really like it for you. It actually harnesses the energy of Aries and Taurus. Again, Aries very fiery, Taurus very stable. And there's this feeling here, though, when I see this with the energy of kind of emotionally walking away from something in your external environment. I think for some of you, you've recently gotten over something in your life that was kind of blocking you from really being able to see and feel your true power. Now, why do I say that? Because this month, it's all about getting back out there. It's all about showing what you're made of, Sag. Because we have the Five of Cups is a card of disappointment. It's a card of where we tried to emotionally invest in something and we ended up getting hurt, that something didn't quite work out. With the Hermit coming in after that, that's where that time or the event that happened or the something in your life that you kind of kept looking back on and going, oh, that was just really sad, really disappointing. It just didn't work out the way that I wanted. That pushed you into going into a place of self-reflection. That's the Hermit. This is when we have to kind of go within to find our own light again. It's sometimes I always feel when the Hermit card comes up, it's often where we've lost sight of ourselves in something that happened in our life. And at some point in each one of our lives, we will go through that experience. We will, whether it's just because we're really busy in that time period and we're just truly all we can do is be focused on the day-to-day, or we're going through a great period of grief or loss, or something very stressful in our life experience, there's going to be that point where we lose ourselves. And then there comes another point where we actually then have to go on that internal journey back to find that light, the light that's never gone out, because it is our eternal flame. It's what directly connects us to source energy, to spirit. But we have to go back in and see it again ourselves from a new perspective. And I think for many of you, you've done that. There's been a lot of soul searching. You found that part about yourself. But once we do, we then have a responsibility to show that part of ourselves again. That it's not just enough to hold it in a lantern and use it to guide our footsteps, which is what we needed at the time to kind of come out of the darkness. Now it's time to show off your skills. Now it's time to show off what you're made of and how you can practically apply that in your experience. Because the Five of Wands can mean healthy competition. It can kind of mean getting out there to show others what you're made of, to show others your passion, to show others the wand can be your eternal flame. What makes you unique? Who are you, Sagittarius? Now, it can sometimes kind of feel chaotic. 5 is a number of change. So yeah, it does mean that in going out there and finding others to kind of compete with, or getting out there into maybe the open market for something, yeah, it may mean that it might feel a little chaotic for a minute because yeah, something is meant to change. But the 5s come in when we're ready for growth. So it's not just change for the sake of change, it's change for the sake of growing the part of you that you've reconnected with, whether it's been very recently or whether it's been this kind of slow process that you finally have kind of gotten to at this point. Because there is going to be the opportunity to walk away from something on an emotional level in a large way. That's the 8 of Cups. This is when we kind of sum up everything that's happening in our life on an emotional level, and there's something major that it's time for us to formally walk away from. Now, this could be a job. This could be a relationship. This could just be geographically where you live. This can also be where you make up your mind, basically make up your mind on an emotional level to just walk away from a version of yourself, or possibly even a limiting belief, where you're like, I could never have all of that because of this thing that happened in the past, or the disappointment. And this is a beautiful supportive energy saying, you can sit on your throne, Sagittarius, and be very firm in the new you and go out there and show it off. But internally, it's time to walk away from something. And if others have to walk away from you, because this is also external to you, this is external energy, that's okay. You sit tight where you are and you let those who no longer support this version of yourself move on their merry way. And that may sound blunt in saying that, Sag, but this is time for you to hold your position. And others who maybe perhaps had expected something else from you, it's time for them to realize that you're in it for the long haul. And this could also be that some people are seeing the new you. That some people are seeing the new you, and it's not going to be enough for them, or it's not going to be what they wanted, perhaps. And that's fine. Everybody has their own journey to go. But there's something here, I think, around, it's a mirroring effect, something around on an emotional level, you knowing where you need to walk away from and hold firm to that. And then if others are like, this isn't what I wanted, well, then you also have to stay firm to this new you. Okay, so now I'm going to pull cards here to take a look at the challenge that you're being asked to face, the blocks. Yep, Hierophant. I knew this was going to come out. This is more Taurus energy, so it's very firm, again, kind of stable, stick to your guns kind of energy. But the Hierophant this is your main point of challenge. And the Hierophant really speaks to the belief systems we have, the rules we follow for ourselves, the structures we choose to put in place and then maintain. So for a lot of there is, I think, a need so we have the Princess of Wands, which is the Page of Wands in this deck, and the Three of Swords coming up at the heart of your reading. The Three of Swords is a card of the mental thoughts it's basically mental wounding that then kind of trickles down and it pierces our heart. It's all of those things that hurt us in the past. It's the negative words of another that you looked up to. It's the romantic interest that didn't work out the way that you had hoped. It's the job that somebody told you weren't good enough in. It's all those things. And wow, this is okay. Well, let me get into this. All right, Sag. So going back to the Hierophant, and the Page of Wands. There's a feeling here of wanting to go out. I think for some of you, the Page of Wands coming in, the Page of Wands can be it's a youthful, fiery energy. It's almost like the kid who just opened up their Christmas present and is like, oh my God, I have a magic wand. Like, can I go outside and figure out what I can do with this? And it's that exuberant energy that is fun and exciting. But I think for some of you, you've squashed that part of yourself. Because the Hierophant coming in, it's almost like, I think for a lot of you, those rules that you had in place were really there to not allow this part of your, you had kind of lost sight of your eternal flame. So you lost sight of this kind of youthful fun, just, I'm going to go out there and do it. Kind of energy, which is your energy, Sagittarius. I mean, technically you are the Knight of Wands in the tarot, but the Page of Wands is that one step below where it's that getting back in touch with it. It's like we haven't quite mastered our what do you call it? Our working with our passion, or we haven't mastered, really shining our light. Not quite sure where it needs to shine, but we know we want to go out and play with it. We know we want to go out and have fun with us, with our passions, with who we are. And the Hierophant comes in and says, like, but no, we've always done it this way. Or if you show this part of yourself, then it's going to go against, the Hierophant can be religion. It can be anything that we've kind of, again, contractually obligated ourselves to as well. Hierophant can speak to a marriage contract, a business contract, things where we are kind of buying into what our society tells us we have to follow. So this could be even where maybe like a religious belief or a familial belief. Everybody in the family does X, Y, and Z, and it has to be this way. And it's been stifling yourself. And what Spirit's asking you to really embrace, because that's at the heart of your reading is the Three of Swords. Spirit's asking you to embrace the wounds. It's almost like asking you to take a look at the ghosts that haunt you on that mental space, that whisper in your ear, you can't do it. You're not lovable. You're not good enough. Anything along those lines that's haunting you up there. And you're being asked to really face them. Because on the other side, if you can do that, if you can embrace and really see those ghosts that are there, it's almost like, like seeing the ghost here. I'm getting this image just intuitively of, you're laying in bed at night and these voices are in your head telling you you're not good enough, or you can't do something, or you're not lovable. And you see the kind of imposing figures here. And then all of a sudden you turn on the light and you realize there's no imposing figures. These swords are actually just something on your dresser that you saw, and you realize, oh my gosh, it's just me. These people don't exist anymore. These people were just ghosts of the past. I'm the one that hung on to them. There's an element of taking personal responsibility for this, for the ghosts that you've allowed to kind of hinder you in that mental space. It's time to turn on the light, because on the other side with the Seven of Wands, this is defending your position. This is defending your wand. This is defending your right to have your passion, to be seen as how you want to be seen, to follow your bliss to a certain extent. And I get this feeling of kind of holding, you see this individual in this defensive posture, holding your eternal flame, your magic wand triumphant. Because then over here we have a major hitting kind of trail of events here. We have Justice. We have the Wheel of Fortune. We have the Five of Wands again. So here's double confirmation coming in. And we have the Two of Cups. So what this is speaking to here, so Justice is your final, so the Hierophant is your initial challenge, and the Justice is your final challenge. Now, what I was saying here, the Hierophant is very similar to what Justice speaks to as well. This can be contractual agreements. This can be the balancing of major contracts. So maybe at one point, previously you'd been doing X, Y, and Z, and now the time for the scales to balance, meaning that you're going to have to kind of change maybe what you've been doing. Maybe you were always the one who took care of the home, and now it's time for you to step up and be the breadwinner. Or maybe now it's time for you to break a marriage commitment or contract because it doesn't allow you to be this truly, to basically express the new you. or break a contract with the work environment or your belief system around. So this is really looking at your belief system. This would be like you've been in the same job or same work field forever, and you just are like, well, these are the rules. This is what I have to do. I have to wake up. I have to go in. I have to do X, Y, and Z, and then I have to do it all over again. And you realize it's stifling your inner flame. And this is where now it's time to take a look at those contractual agreements in your life, or to see where the scales need to be rebalanced. And I think by really facing, again, why the negative thoughts and the wounds you keep within your mind, that's really going to show you where you've been holding yourself back from allowing a part of yourself to shine forward. And therein is where the Wheel of Fortune and the opportunity comes in. The energy is here. It's going out and showing what you're made of and connecting with others. The Two of Cups is a beautiful energy of connecting with another on an equal level and sharing vulnerably your needs, your wants, your dreams, and allowing them to do the same. So there's this feeling of, if you can lean into kind of breaking through the hurts, the wounds of the past, and really taking a look at how you've created structures in your life that uphold that and don't allow you to be free of them, it's going to show you something here where it's time to free yourself, where it's time to balance the scales, where it's time to say, you've held this part of yourself back for so long, and it's time now for the scales to be balanced, for that part of yourself to be free. And therein is going to lie where the walking away comes from. Whether it's emotionally walking away yourself from something because you realize that it's time for, again, the scales to be balanced in one way, or a contract to be broken. This can be you going back out, this could be like you becoming a private contractor instead, like walking away from the business you've always been beholden to. And now you're going to go out there and you're going to connect with others, and you're going to show what you're made of. And that involves you having to walk away from a long time career path working for this one specific business. Or the other way around, this could be where maybe, you've always, again, maybe you're the one who's always taking care of the home, and now it's time for you to step up and, go out into the work world, and you're ready for it. But this is breaking down through it, maybe a barrier or boundary around, well, I was always kind of this, I played this role in this partnership, or I played this role in our family dynamics. And this is saying, well, now it's time to really realize that it's time for you to defend whatever you've rediscovered about yourself, and it's time to take it out there. And if that means that you have to take a look at kind of maybe just a verbal contract that stands between you and your significant other, or you and your family dynamics, or whether this is taking it a step further and this is truly defending, it's time for me to walk away from this, then this is really stating what, if you can be clear on that, if you can be clear on where something is no longer emotionally fulfilling for you, then this is where the opportunity lies to go out there and show what you're made of, get back out there into kind of the competitive open market. And this is where you're going to openly connect with others who are of like mind, or others who just are ready to connect with you on that equal level. And again, it may also be that others are moving away from you. This could be that someone else, is not ready for you to go back out into the work world, or your work says, we're sorry, you can't get that promotion where you can move into that sales position or something like that. And that's when you have to say, well, then I'm sorry, I'm going to go out and do it on my own. But there's something here that's very strong about you being firm in who you are, because the Emperor works with the Hierophant. The Hierophant is the high priest. The Emperor is the one this is being the emperor of your own empire. That's your life. He dictates the rules. He dictates what he chooses to follow and does not follow. He dictates, again, the rules and the structures that he puts in place, and he can change them as well at any time to fit the growing needs of his empire. So keep that in mind. What are the growing needs of your empire and yourself? Because as I stated here, the fives come in when we are ready to grow. So keep that strongly in mind throughout the next 2 months. Where are you ready to grow through putting yourself out there to be seen? I mean, this could be for some of you where you've been, waiting to, release to the public that book you've been working on behind the scenes. Yeah. Nine of Swords, worry. It's the thoughts that keep us up at night. Like, well, what if I do walk away from this marriage? My whole family is going to look at me and say, how can you do that? Because everybody's always been married. No one gets divorced. It's one of those kinds of things. Or my family's going to look at me and say, well, what do you mean you're going to leave your corporate job to go work on your own? Like, what about your financial stability? And herein, so we have the Hierophant and the Hanged Man coming in. So double confirmation here with the Hierophant and the Hierophant. This is stating with the Hanged Man coming in that you're seeing the rules and the structures that are in place from a new perspective. That again, maybe at one point this was right for you. It upheld something that you needed at that time to create a level of stability, or it was something that you could even see it in another way, that maybe this is something that made, your parents or your family structure, feel good, or something they needed. Now you can look at it and say, well, I see why they need it, but I also see why it doesn't work for me. And there's a really beautiful kind of lesson here to learn if you can get past the worry, past the what are other people going to think of me if I do break this boundary, if I do walk away. I mean, this could even be walking away for some of you, walking away from a religion you followed your whole life, or walking away from a career path that you thought had defined you. And this is saying now you're seeing it from a different perspective. Maybe not that it was terrible and that it's, hurting you. It's just now you're looking at it from a perspective of I needed it then, but now I've outgrown it. And it can be literally as simple as that. Okay. It's also about really, I think, getting down, because a Hierophant can also be truly getting to our core belief structure. And this is really speaking to, I think, for some of you, you are seeing from a new perspective the power that your own belief system holds. If I believe it, it can be. If I believe in myself, I can do anything. Okay, so let's see about the Princess of Wands. What does Sagittarius need to know about the Princess of Wands? The Page of Wands. Judgment. Yeah, a new you. This is the new fun, fire you. Judgment is a major card. It's a major arcana card of change. It's when we are being called up to show the new version of ourselves. And it does mean that a part of ourselves has had to die and been reborn. When you think about judgment, it's like being called up from the dead. But you're being called up into a newer, brighter version of yourself, and it's time. And a major change has taken place. There's a part of yourself that you want to show that is very different from the person that you were when you were following these other rules. 2 of Swords, 3 of Swords. Yeah. I think you're having a problem making a choice or making a decision. You're having a hard time seeing your own truth in the decisions that you're trying to make because of the wounds. They're blocking blocking the way for you to really think clearly. And I think for some of you, again, there's this element of having to take personal responsibility for why you continue to hear those thoughts in your head. And to say, it's time for me to just turn on the lights and realize there's nothing in there but me and my thoughts and my beliefs. And that's going to really help you, I think, make a decision you've been wanting to make for a while but haven't really been able to see how to commit to it. Or again, haven't been able to see which decision is better for you. 7 of Wands. Let's see what does Sagittarius need to know about the 7 of Wands? It didn't feel right. What does Sagittarius need to know about the 7 of Wands? 2 of Coins. Yeah, this is defending where you want to prioritize your time and energy and money. The 2 of Coins can be kind of juggling those day-to-days, but it doesn't mean also making a choice. What seed do I want to nurture? If you think about coins as 2 seeds, or coins as, to opportunities. This is something where there's something there that you want to choose. And it could also be defending a restructuring of how you do things day to day. Again, where do you want to, what do you want to prioritize? And it's time to defend that. It's time to say, if I want to, again, grow the seed of my new business, or grow the seed of, re-entering the work world, or the opposite, grow the seed of me becoming the stay-at-home parent, or me, there's something here around really speaking to, there's a decision I think you've been wanting to make in your day-to-day for a long time. And it's time now to defend that. And yeah, we need the Page of Cups. So I like that. Page of Cups is getting back in touch with your, I always like to say, like, your internal child. It's rediscovering the needs and the dreams you have and the importance of sharing those with others. There's an innocent quality to it. Let me see what else wants to come out here. But yeah, I think for some of you, it's actually about prioritizing your inner child. So I'm going to get one here for, let's see, okay, these definitely don't want to go back in. Okay, I can see why. 8 of Cups and 5 of Wands. Wow, you really can't write this. These are the 2 major overarching energies in this reading. I mean, they've now come up 3 times. So 5 of Wands has come up 3 times, 2 of Cups twice. The Hierophant coming up twice. So yeah, it might cause some chaos, Sagittarius, to walk away from something on an emotional level towards what's deep within your heart, that there's more for you out there in some way. This new version of yourself, that there's more for that new version to accomplish out there. And it does mean you're going to have to go out there. So it's kind of like going out there into the big scary world after you haven't been out there in a while. And this can be in any capacity. This could be going back out into the dating world. This can be going back out into the work world, but from a different perspective, this could be like, maybe you were always the business owner, but now you have to go back out and be the one who starts at the bottom, or the other way around. This is the person who was always kind of, was taking orders, and now they're the ones that are going to be, the boss. This can also be walking away from a relationship where, again, you have to go back out there into the dating world, or it's just more about walking away from a dynamic as well. This could be simply walking away from how you've always done something in a relationship and saying, no, I'm not going to be the one who always does X, Y, and Z. That's not fulfilling for me in this anymore. It's time for me to say, that's not fulfilling, and I'm going to go out there, and it might make things a little chaotic for a while, but ultimately it's going to allow me to bring out this beautiful part of myself that I've kind of long hidden. The reconnection to my internal flame, my passion, my spark, what makes me me, and a reconnection on an emotional level to my whole experience, to, again, my needs. There's an element here sometimes with the pages that come up around kind of childlike, like a childlike sentimentality, which when you think about a child can be exuberant. They can get excited. There's a level of innocence, but there's also can be a level of, kids can be selfish. And I think that's kind of that's what I'm getting intuitively here with Page of Cups. It's like, it's time for you to be selfish with your needs, with your dreams, with the cup that holds your entire emotional connection to your whole experience as well as to spirit. And it's time to connect that with others through getting back out there in some way. But it does mean that you're going to have to walk away from something. So just keep that in mind. It's not a negative thing. It's just a period of growth, Sagittarius. So get ready. Get ready. All right, I'm going to pull 3 additional cards here for additional advice from Spirit. So the first card is where Spirit, we're going to focus on the concept of curiosity. And this is where Spirit would like you to stay open and curious to how you might be blocking yourself in this area or around this energy from really being able to change your perspective on your own beliefs and structures and rules, and where maybe you're blocking yourself from allowing this new version of yourself to be seen, to be out there, to be utilized. Remember, the Wheel of Fortune is here, with this rebalancing of the scales. So keep that in mind. So again, in some aspect of your life that maybe has long felt out of balance, or again, you were very heavy on one side. This could be also too where you were so focused on work. And now suddenly you're like, well, wait, this new version of myself wants love, wants open connection to others, wants that romantic partnership. Then there will be a rebalancing of the scale away from work and towards the heart or towards dating. So this is kind of where you have to realize, like, here, maybe it's time now to stop working, the 20 hours of overtime every week and start putting in some time. Yeah, action. Some time towards this other part of your experience. It could be the opposite. Maybe you had put in all your time and energy towards your family, and that was all that was consuming. And now you're realizing, okay, the kids are moving on, other things are happening in my life, and now I want to focus on my work life, or my personal life is wonderful. I have the best husband in the world, or wife, or however you choose to identify in your relationships. And now I just really want to go out there and see what I'm capable of in the job market. That's wonderful. But it's about making sure that you defend that you defend that feeling, that you defend this part of yourself that you want to unlock and go out there and play with and have be seen. But it is going to mean that you're going to have to walk away from something. So maybe this is walking away from the home that you've lived with your family in for, where you raised your kids for the past 20 years. And now suddenly it's like, okay, I can get this job in this new area, but it's going to require us to maybe downsize or move someplace else, So there is a growth and a change. It doesn't necessarily mean that what you have to walk away from is negative, meaning like, oh, I have to get a divorce, or I have to, leave a job that paid me a ton of money to take one that makes no money, or something along those lines. This can be a beautiful leveling up, but you just have to kind of get on board with the change. That's really what's coming strongly through in here, is that you get to create the new structure for the new you. Okay, so we have action number 17, breaking down to the number 8. The number 8 is a beautiful energy of personal empowerment. It's one of empowered leadership. It's also can be one of physical abundance. Now, the action card, we're looking at where we're curious, or it might be hindering ourselves, blocking ourselves from really being able to, kind of what I'm hearing, open the gates. When you look at these horses, it's like open the gates of the boundaries of the structure you created to allow this new version of yourself to run free. So that's really where to be curious. That's what's coming through strongly on an intuitive level, is be curious as to where you've penned yourself in and where it's time to open that gate. And this can be like saying, well, I can't make more than X amount of money. And it's like, well, yeah, maybe you can't make more than X amount of money here, but that doesn't mean that you can't, expand your horizons. And by going out there to see on the open market what your skill set is worth now, that you might realize, oh my God, I thought I'd always be capped off at here because I never looked outside of this field of work or this type of business. And suddenly now, well, holy cow, no, I can make 5 times as much. Or same thing in a relationship. You've always, held yourself to this is who I am in this relationship. And now you're realizing you can take that relationship to the next level by simply just saying, you know what, it's time for us to move. Let's buy that RV, or let's get that house, or, whatever it is. There's something here about leveling up through walking away, through finding out what you're capable of. The new you. But you got to let that new you out of the pen. Okay, let's see. Any other cards that want to come out for action and curiosity? Yeah. Oh, 6 of Cups. Beautiful. A return to yourself. This is about getting a gift from the past. So for some of you, this may even be going back to something from the past that you had emotionally connected with. Yeah, and there's the 9 of Swords again. I mean, for some of you, this could be going back to, hey, I want to start writing again. I remember when I loved doing this and I want to go back to that. I want to let myself be free. I always fantasize that I would do this in my life. And there's a feeling here, Sagittarius, of that's okay. That it's okay. You can, instead of kind of just sitting here in this place of like mental anguish and overthinking and the worry, it's saying it's time to let yourself be free. Time to free yourself from kind of your mental space to be able to really get down into your emotional space and to get that gift from your inner child back again, that gift of who you are, the gift of where you just loved life, the gift of knowing your dreams, knowing the needs you had. And it's time to let this part of yourself run free again. Okay. For some of you, it's a worry too, I think, about this part of yourself being seen, or this gift, or that something in the past, the innocent part of yourself maybe had been hurt. But I'm really feeling strongly, don't worry. Don't worry. Again, the Wheel of Fortune hinges on you going back out there again. Okay, so Sagittarius, let's take a look at, this could even be, I'm kind of just feeling too, it could just be a worry about the way it was in the past and how it's going to change now, which is, I'm not quite sure how else to explain it. That's just what I'm hearing. Okay, let's see. So now I'm pulling a card here for the concept of courage. And this is where Spirit would like you to have the courage to surrender to something, to the energy that comes up in the card that's selected here. And this is so that you can then have the courage through the surrendering to allow yourself to take empowered action. Okay, that's way too many cards. We'll see if that surrender to attachment to results comes up again, but that was like 8 cards. It's a little too much. Let's see. Just 1 or 2 cards, please. What does Sagittarius need to know about where they need to surrender to? Oh, there it comes up again. Well, gosh, isn't this reading just very specific? Okay, so surrender your attachment to results. It says the formula for success is to do all you can to make things happen, then let go of the results. Holding on too tightly to a desired outcome can sabotage it. Now, I like this because I do see, the cards of worry here. There's a feeling with the pages coming in and the 5 of Wands, that competition. It's like, it is almost like that kid going out there with their new toy, and all the other kids have new toys too, or the same toy, and yet they're all going to get together and kind of figure out, well, who can, unlock something the best about it, or who can, shoot that thing the farthest, or who can ride that bike, that kind of thing. It's realizing that this is more about starting the new journey of you, walking away from something that has long not emotionally fulfilled you, towards getting back out there and finding what does with the 2 of Cups. There's a level of like emotional connection there. But the worry here often are the projections of the future, where we're worried that the results aren't going to come in exactly the way that we want it. Or we're worried already about like, well, if I do go out there and follow this, it has to look just like this, or it has to immediately give me a return on my investment. Otherwise, I'm going to be the kid that runs home and pouts. And this is saying, no. This is time for you just to let this new version of yourself be seen, to be out there, to kind of get your hands dirty, so to speak, to make those connections, because, oh my gosh, what's going to come in is probably 1,000 times better and, again, more suited to your personal growth than even you could have imagined. And it's a really hard thing to surrender your attachment to results. I know I have difficulty with that myself, but there is something here around, I think, something much bigger coming in. Ooh, yeah. Okay, so we have the 10 of Pentacles, and we have the 7 of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands. I love this. Here's your magic wand. This is the Ace of Wands. This is the spark. This is you reconnecting to your eternal flame. But it's also can be that idea, that inspiration that comes in, that kind of whisper in your ear, not the negative thoughts of the past, but the whisper in your ear that says, you can do it, Sagittarius. You can do it. Look this way. It's that kind of turn of the head. It's that, I wonder if I could. This is saying, you sure can, because you go from the Seven of Pentacles, which is, I don't know if I want to invest. I don't know if this is right for me. The results aren't exactly what I expected. And this is saying, if you listen to this, if you feel the flame and you follow it, if you listen just for that, little aha, that turn of the head, that's what's going to lead to the 10 of Pentacles. A wealth of abundance in the physical, a legacy that you may be wanting to leave behind for your family, but there's something here about going from the Seven of Pentacles of, I don't know if this is enough, I don't know if I want to invest in it anymore, to then going and leveling up three extra spaces. It's like jumping ahead to the 10 of Pentacles. But you have to follow your inspiration. You have to follow that whisper from the divine that says, it's almost like the divine is like blowing on the flame that's within you, and it's come to life, and suddenly it's like you see life in a whole new way. You see the way forward, or you see a shimmer of something that makes you feel excited, and it's saying, follow that. But again, it may not quite, it's kind of like the person maybe here growing this bush, maybe they were like, man, I planted it, I thought it was going to be roses, and it ends up being magnolias. And I don't know, it's beautiful, it's pretty cool. People come by and tell me that I'm really good at, growing plants, and that it's the nicest one they've ever seen, but I don't know. I wanted roses. And this is saying, if you can just keep nurturing that, the fact that people are like, oh, hey, you're a great gardener, that might be the cue to say, well, wait a second. That's the real inspiration here. I wasn't sitting here like, roses are pretty. I had some ideas for what I was going to do with them. But ultimately, when I went out to do this, it wasn't because I wanted roses. It was because I wanted to garden. It was because I wanted to spend that time outside. It was because I wanted to watch something grow. And now people are telling me, wow, I'm good at it. And that's where that hint from the universe says, yeah, so follow it. Keep going. Keep doing that. So there's something there, Sagittarius, for all of you. Keep that in mind, that whatever you've been working on, even if it doesn't seem to have created the desired results that you wanted, you are right where you need to be to get to the 10 of Pentacles that you ultimately want, that the highest kind of level of abundance that you can achieve for yourself in the physical in this lifetime. So keep going. Keep going, Sag. Okay. Let's see here. We're going to pull a card now for the concept of contemplation. This is where Spirit would like you to stay open and reflective to throughout the next month and a half to really keep you grounded. Keep this whole message grounded for yourself so that you can really see where you need to, prioritize your time, where you can really get in touch with a part of yourself that wants to be expressed, that wants to come out, wants to be seen. It says, I love it. It says, you're already doing it. Stop overthinking. And that's what the 9 of Swords is. Stop overthinking. Keep facing your true north. Keep being you. You're already doing it. And I think that's what some of you don't realize, is that what you want to grow in your life is already there. You just have to keep going. That part of your experience that you want, this could be as simple as, again, you just realize in the scales balancing, you just haven't been focusing on that part of yourself. And now it's time that with the dedicated focus and energy, it's like, okay, I can make this into my 10 of Pentacles, but it has to be based on what I'm passionate about. It has to be based on that spark of inspiration. Okay, I'm going to pull just another, actually, let's see. Pull an animal oracle for you're already doing it. Let's see if anything else wants to come out. Oh, this also came out for Virgo. It says elephant spirit, learn from the past. Number 25, breaking down to the number 7. The number 7 is a beautiful number that really harnesses kind of the spiritual warrior to a certain extent, someone who's confident in who they are, but also confident in their connection to spirit and co-creating with spirit from that level of confidence. But I like that it says learn from the past, because I do think for some of you, with the 6 of Cups coming in, you're getting an opportunity to reconnect with something from the past that maybe did not work out, that you lost sight of, that connects directly to your inner child, to what you're good at innately. And now it's time to create a new structure, open the gate, and let that part of yourself be free to try again. But from a way where we are now learning from the past as to why, we did get distracted from originally honoring this part of ourselves, or why we didn't finish that creative project, or why we, kind of took ourselves out of the work world or that field of work, or whatever, you name it, fill in the blank. But it's time now to learn from your past and realize how capable you are of achieving what you want right now in the physical. And this major confirmation of you're already doing it says, whatever you're doing, just keep doing it, Sagittarius. Don't look back. I kind of get the idea with the 8 of Cups. It's almost like if you turn back and you look back at this, the disappointment, it's like you're going to turn into that pillar of salt. So don't look back. Just keep going and know that you are getting closer to the 9 of Cups, your heart's fulfillment. You're getting there. You're getting very close. Okay. We're going to pull a final card here for the concept of the overarching spiritual lesson that you're learning about yourself this month. So what is Sagittarius learning about the spiritual lesson that they need to know right now? What does Sagittarius need to know about their overarching spiritual lesson? And I'll read the full excerpt that comes from the book with this card, just so you get an additional message that does not come directly from me. What does Sagittarius need to know? Okay, we have Orbs of Light, number 40. And number 40 is a beautiful number. It's a number that reduces to the number 4 in numerology, which is the number of building firm foundations. It's also the number of angelic guidance. I love the number 4. There's a stableness to the number 4 too that really speaks to kind of, again, harnessing the energy from the initial part of this reading around the Emperor. That's stable, steady force. It says, the spiritual worlds are delivering a message to you. You may have already heard it through telepathic reception and mistaken it for your own thought. Yet it is inspired by your higher guidance, those spiritual beings that love you without condition. It is an answer to a question and guidance to increase your happiness. And that's really what this Ace of Wands is right here. This is that message, that intuition, that feeling, that call, that aha moment. It says, it is possible to pray without realizing it. The universe is lovingly listening to every thought and feeling in your heart and mind. When you intentionally speak to the universe and ask your higher guidance to help you with an issue, this is a powerful way to call the light into your life. It works, often quite rapidly. However, sometimes we ask for help without being so aware of doing so. Worrying about an issue or pondering a question are ways this happens. There are orbs of light around you. There are spiritual beings that love you. These orbs contain information and energies that help answer questions and worries through the intelligence and love of the higher spiritual worlds. That information might come through a song, a phrase, a feeling, or a color or symbol that unlocks awareness in the deeper recesses of your mind and body. Orbs are always around us, but appear in more concentrated form, both in quantity and quality. In certain places and at certain times, including when your energy is in a particularly soft and receptive high-frequency state. Orbs naturally gravitate towards high energy. This doesn't mean you have to be on the go constantly. Higher energy can be created when you are very still by raising your frequency to a higher vibrational state. You can do this by regularly meditating on love and healing. You can place yourself in a state that is most attractive to orbs of light by relaxing, opening your heart, and feeling good. You are almost always likely to perceive them around you in this state, which can be a fun and beautiful experience. Orbs are often only seen in photographs where they appear as a soft ball of light. If they are enhanced and magnified, patterns, symbols, and faces can sometimes be seen within them. This is part of the loving genius of the spiritual world, the way that light can reach the earth in form, helping to raise frequency from fear to love. Being in nature and doing some invocations to unconditional love creates an energy that is very attractive to orbs. So is group work based in love, such as meditating together to clear a sacred space in nature, then dancing and praying together in that space with joyful devotion to love. This attracts high-level guidance because a group can be a container powerful enough to generate and hold the higher frequencies of love. This can also happen for individuals, but group energy can be a powerful and effective way to attract a great downpour of spiritual grace. Clearing the energy of your home and calling in higher guidance to bless you in your home each day, perhaps with the invocation below, will also create a space in which orbs of light can more easily visit you, bringing their uplifting energy and healing light. To access the information of these orbs of light, to be open to seeing them more clearly, whether directly with your own energetic vision through clairvoyance or through photographs or other means, you can use the invocation below. Now, I don't normally read this, but I will because it's very prominent for what this message is. It says, I call upon the unconditionally loving orbs of light. Please bring me information, healing energy, and joy as I open my heart to the loving presence of the higher spiritual worlds here and now. I ask to see, feel, and know the loving intelligence of the orbs of light in ways that are relaxing, encouraging, joyful, and kind. I ask for the orbs of light to bring peace and blessing to this space, to consecrate it as sacred and to protect it so that only energies of light, love, and higher consciousness may enter. May the unconditionally loving orbs of light bless all those who can benefit from their presence. Through divine love and my own free will, so be it. So for some of you, you may be sitting here saying, orbs of light, what the heck? What is all of this? And for others, this may resonate very deeply. But what I can say that's coming through that really speaks to all of this is that you have heard the call. That's what judgment speaks to here. Judgment is hearing the call. And as a big believer myself in that we are all part of a divine design, I feel at any given time we are always being guided. There is always that little miracle, that little light kind of flashing in our peripheral. It says, look over here, look over here. This is the love of your life waiting for you. This is the new job opportunity. This is the next best friend. This is the new fill in the blank. And it's that part of the divine design. Call it orbs of light filled with, intelligent information. But it's always there if we open ourselves up to ourself, meaning we connect to our spiritual flame. We honor that. We allow it to be seen. We allow it to have self-expression. And this is how we then work with the divine design, because we are meant to have that part of ourself expressed and to fill a specific need for the entire collective experience to elevate and grow together. So keep that in mind when you feel like you might want to hide yourself, when you're worried about bringing out this past version of who you were or this gift that you want to share. Know that the feeling and the calling is there for a reason. And if you can open yourself up more to seeing that kind of glimmer or hear the whisper of, call this person, look over here. That moment of true inspiration, of that idea that comes in out of the blue and you're like, oh my gosh, my rose bush makes magnolia, is a magnolia tree, but holy cow, I can take clippings and everybody wants a part of my magnolia tree. So yeah, why don't I just go with it? I can make little gifts, and suddenly you don't know what that's going to open up for you. So again, do not, if you can surrender your attachment to results, but you can hear the call, follow it and allow yourself to be seen. That's enough. The rest will come in to show you the next step and the next step and the next step. But also have confidence, Sag, you're already doing it. All right, I will leave your message here. I hope you all have a wonderfully empowering month that really illuminates for you just how special you are and where you can start to shine that really unique part of yourself out into the world. And I'm wishing you all the courage as well to walk away from something or to allow another to walk away from you. Either way, in the pursuit of understanding that a big dream and wish fulfillment is right around the corner. For anyone who would like to book their own personal reading to illuminate this, but personally for yourself, you can click on the link in the description box below to take a look at my services and to book a reading. Otherwise, if I don't see you there, I'll be posting another illumination reading in January, and in December I will most likely be posting a much shorter but more fun miracle reading for each sign, where we'll be looking at a miracle that is waiting to come in for each one of you. All right, I'll leave it there. I hope all of you who celebrate the holidays here in America and around the world have a wonderful holiday season, and I will look forward to reading for you in the next reading. Bye, Sagittarius.